What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Savoy, and we're back for the penultimate tune on their 2004 self-titled album, and it's called The Breakers. A breaker can mean different things. It's actually a device that breaks and cracks rocks open. I believe it's also the name for a facility in which such a device is housed. It is, of course, also the name you give to someone who break dances, and so the Breakers could be a breakdancing troupe. It sounds like a youth football or soccer team name, but I would expect, or at least predict most likely, it relates to breakers as in waves, which are waves that reach that crest point where they begin to foam, which normally happens either at shore or when they're hitting something beneath the surface, but near the surface, like a rock or a sandbar. And as such, ships navigating the ocean are taught to look out for breakers because it could be something they get grounded on or run into. So again, if I had to predict, I would say the breakers might relate to waves, and of course that could be more literal, as in a visual backdrop to something that's happening in the narrative of the song, or as some thematic or figurative metaphor. Nevertheless, I'll see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Savoy, the track is The Breakers, and it's the second to last tune on their 2004 self-titled album. That muffled snare.
I can still recall the time sitting in the sand and watching breakers as they roll upon the shore. You just walked right up to me, having asked around. You had no takers to take you far away from here. Then I come along to hold your hand. Everything's up and it's alright, 'cause I feel the engine pulling us towards a new day's light. Everything's down and it's okay, 'cause I feel the engine humming and it's taking us away. I've been seeing you around, sitting in the sand and watching breakers as they roll upon the shore. You always had your friends around. Something you should know, I think they're fakers. I'm the only one you need. Here I come along to hold your hand. Everything is off, but that's just fine, 'cause I see the engine running down the straight white line. Everything goes wrong, but that's alright, 'cause I hear the engine running as it penetrates the night. Where do we go from here? Stepping into thin air.
lyrically, I'm not sure, because it feels like there's two different scales or perspectives of what's happening. There's the interpersonal dimension of this, which sounds like it's about two people, and the opening verse was something like, when the other person finally approached them, and he was saying that the other person had no takers. And then there was the verse later, which, like, your friends are always around you, so it feels like there's some interpersonal dynamic. I can't quite put my finger on what that is. But then there's also the layer of the breakers and the sea. Now, in both verses, there's, like, first he's looking at them, and then I'm going to say she's looking at them. But then there's these lines about the engine humming and pulling us away or taking us somewhere, which sounds like we're talking about a boat, and so it feels like the whole idea of the sea and the waves and motion in that context might be figurative or metaphorical. And what was it, the straight white line? Is that what it was? Or was it a white light? I couldn't hear that line clearly. So I feel like there's some meaning, whether figurative or literal, that I'm not sure of, but it feels like the setting, the backdrop, is indeed the visual of the sea and the waves breaking on the shore. And sonically, it had this mixture of, like, I've mentioned in a number of their tunes, they sound a little bit like the band Garbage, because there's this alternative rock edge to it, and sometimes with a female voice. Here, I think we only heard Lauren a very little bit. She seemed to be behind Paul's voice in just one moment where I noticed it, and it was otherwise all Paul. And I really enjoy the way he got sort of epic and higher voice toward the end of the tune. Mostly when I've heard him sing with Savoy, it's a lower tone, a sort of deep kind of guitar poet type of sound. But here, and I'm back. Apologies, got interrupted there. Nevertheless, what I was trying to say is that it was mostly a Paul-led track, maybe only with Lauren and a little bit vocally, but it felt like a mixture of a Garbage tune, maybe with a bit of a Smashing Pumpkins sound, because they have a number of tunes where there's an electric guitar edge, but it also has this lyricism and down-tempo ambience to it, mixed with a bit of a Beatles sound, which going back to the earliest Aha reactions I did, there were a few tunes here and there, it was like, oh, that has a bit of a Beatles kind of vibe, and I was informed that the Beatles were definitely an influence for Paul, and there's been other tunes along the way, Savoy, or with Savoy, where they've had a bit of a Beatles flavor. So this one felt like if you mix some alternative rock flavors of the 90s/early 2000s with a tiny bit of Beatles flavor. So yeah, it was an interesting set of sonic ingredients into the whole. As I said, I enjoy Paul's vocals, I enjoy the imagery, whether or not that's more literal or figurative. So yeah, another cool one. Looking forward to the last track, which is another tune which I might have a bit of a, let's say, technical lyrical speculation in the intro, because it's a track called Isotope, which has a very scientific meaning, though whether that's more literal or figurative, I guess we'll have to see. Do let me know what you think of this, and I will see you next time. Peace.